Hello all, welcome back to my channel Tech Sense. Today I'm making a full video on Power Platform tutorial. Here is the first video. So let's get started. Here is the agenda. Today I'll give you brief on introduction to Power Platform. What are the components of Power Platform? Why should an organization use it? What are the benefits? Why should we study this at all? Then I'll give you brief on each component. Also, we will learn how to set up the instance for the Power Apps, Power BI, Power Virtual Agent. Because to start with, the instance should be ready so that we can play around with the applications. Microsoft Power Platform has four components: Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate, Power Virtual Agent. And all these four applications share the same common data service. Power Platform has many built-in connectors so that you can just connect to any application and start using it. For an example, let's say a manufacturer company keeps track of all of the leads, invoices, orders, and business process to monitor company growth. So, Power BI can help in analyzing the data, what was the benefit last year, how many sales purchase happened. Then Power Apps can help to create apps so that salesperson can fill in the data as in customer details, order details, invoices, etc. Then Power Automate helps you to create logic if you want. For example, if we want to trigger any workflow at any specific instant, then we can achieve it. Then here is the fourth component, Power Virtual Agent. It helps people to raise requests, give feedback to the company, etc. And all these functionalities will share the same data. Share the same data means Power BI will fetch the data from the same database. Power Apps will also build on the same data service. Logic will also be written in the same database, and any inquiry will be redirected to the same common data service. It means all these four applications will be linked to one data service. Now let's understand why should an organization start using Power Platform. As I explained earlier, it consists of all these four apps: Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate, Power Virtual Agents. Each component share the same common data service. It is a single platform used by multiple applications, and at the same time it is very easy to adopt. Developers are not required to create or edit apps. Any user can create or modify the apps based on their requirement. Now, let's understand what is Power Apps. Power Apps is a no-code, low-code environment where you build mobile-friendly business apps. These apps connect to hundreds of popular third-party systems and even live in other Microsoft's business applications, such as Microsoft Teams. Power Apps can be of two types: Canvas apps, model-driven apps. Canvas apps, for example, mobile apps, they are just drag and drop thing and connect to data available to the connector. Basically, the data connector should be ready before creating Canvas type apps. It has completely custom UI. In model driven apps, we need to create the data source from scratch, like we need to create entity, table, relationships. So this is one of the component. Now let's understand what is Power Automate. Power Automate is a workflow automation toolset. It allows you to automate business process through templates, triggers, alerts, and RPA, that is robotic process automation. All this can be done quickly and with no coding. Basically, whenever you create an app, we need logic behind it. So as I said, there is no requirement of developer to modify or create the apps. In the same way, we do not need any developer to automate things as well. Also, a user can create these things. So automate helps you to sync data, get notifications, collect data, etc. There are many more examples. So we understood Power Apps, Power Automate. Power Apps will help you to create or edit apps so that you can use it in your mobile or maybe in your web. If we want to implement any logic, then Power Automate comes into picture. Okay, the app is ready, but we want to send any notification to any user. In that scenario, you can use Power Automate. So we have the data, but now we need analysis as well. In that case, Power BI comes into the picture. Your data may be Excel spreadsheet or a collection of cloud-based or on-premise hybrid data warehouse. Power BI is Microsoft's business analytics service. It provides real-time insights from data, dynamic or not, and it allows you to create rich visualizations and highly personalized reports on mobile and desktop. Basically, it helps you to easily connect to data source, visualize and share with anyone you want in the organization. So you have the data, now you create the reports, and if you want to share to anyone, then you can do that. Power BI consists of three components. Power BI Desktop, where you can develop your reports, and online SaaS service. Power BI mobile apps for Windows, iOS, or Android. So we understood apps, automate, and Power BI. The fourth component is Power Virtual Agents. Power Virtual Agents is a guided, no-code graphical interface where you easily create intelligent bots. These AI-powered capabilities help you deliver personalized bot conversation to resolve customer issues and automate common questions. If you remember, whenever we visit some sites to raise a request or to submit a feedback, there are bots available so that we can chat with customer care. Basically, at the back end, system identify the question, whatever we raised, and based on the set of questions, it give responses. Why we do this? To save human effort. That's why we design those bots and embed in the website so that if there are repetitive questions, then the system itself can identify and respond accordingly. Now we know what is Power Platform. It basically consists of all these four apps which shares common data service. What is the purpose of all those components? Power Apps, Power BI, Power Automate, Power Virtual Agents. Okay, but then let me explain you how to set up the instances for all those applications so that once it's set up, you can just play around with it. So there's a link. Just click once you click this URL, you'll be able to see this page. Just fill in all the details. I just filled country, username, email ID, contact number, my company name, and the organization site. In case of organization size, you can fill any data and click on link. Click on next. Once you click on next, then we need to select one user ID. Let's say I'm selecting tech 1234567. Once you fill in this user ID, it will check if this user is already exist or not. If it doesn't exist, it will allow you to create the user. Otherwise, it will give you the error. So it's okay. You can choose this user. Let's choose the password. Okay, I mentioned the username, the password. Now create my account. Mention the mobile number because there will be. Now I need to enter the verification code. Okay, it's arrived already. It's very fast. Click on next. It will give me my user ID 1234567. It takes some time to finish the sign up. We need not to refresh the page until it's done. Okay, now the user ID is this. Then we need to click on setup. Once you click on the setup, you will be able to see this kind of UI. I will select all of these because I need all of the apps which is there. Then click on complete setup. It's a trial basically. It will expire. It will expire after 1 month, I guess. It's setting up. In the backend is just setting up the things. After a few minutes of processing, you'll be able to see this kind of page. All the published apps are there, and there is an option to create new app. After few minutes of processing, you'll be able to see this kind of page. There are all the published apps, and at the bottom you can see the option to create new app as well. If you click here at the square, you'll be able to see all apps. Click there, and if you scroll, you can see Power Apps, Power Automate. You can see Power Apps, Power Automate. Once you click on the Power Apps, the Power App instance will be there. It is asking you to sign in, so just click on sign in. You need to mention the same credentials. Yeah, it's done. Yeah, it's done. So now you can see the Power Apps instance is ready. The sign in is the same email address by which we signed up, and at the same page you can see Power Automate is also there, so you can create your logics there in Power Automate. In Power Apps, you can create your apps or modify your apps as well. Then how to set up Power BI instance. So for Power BI, the personal email will not work. So we need to use the same email ID that we registered earlier. So the URL is powerbi.microsoft.com. We need to sign in. We can try it free also, but it asks you to, mention your professional email ID. So we have to click to sign in and then use the same user ID and password that we created earlier. See, as you can see, because we are in the same tab, so you can see the email address also already there. Click on start. So it started configuring all of the things for Power BI. We don't need to invite more people. We need to skip this action. So your Power BI setup is also ready. Your Power is also ready. You can just create your reports also here. Then now we will learn how to set up the instance for Power Virtual Agents. So here is the URL, Power VA. The same way we configure for Power BI is the same thing because it will also use the same credentials. So once we hit the URL, it's asking us to sign in. We need to mention the country, start free trial. Yeah. So it's asking us, see, as you can see below, sign in as this URL. So the user ID and password we mentioned here and created, the same we can use in Power BI and Power Virtual Agents. This is my Power Apps. Here is my Power Automate. Here is the Power BI, and you can see this is Power Virtual Agents. So we learned how to set up the instance for Power Apps and Power Automate. We also learned how to set up the instance for Power BI and for virtual agents as well. Thank you. That's it for the session. This was the basic introduction. What is Power Platform? What are the components? What are the components actually? And how to set up the instance. In my upcoming videos, I will try to explain how to customize the Power Apps, how to create the apps, how to edit them, how to create Power BI reports. So to see all of those videos, stay tuned and please subscribe to my channel. For any query, you can write down in comment section. You can also write us at mytechsense@gmail.com or visit to our website https@techsenseconsulting.com. Thank you so much for your time.